Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Francisco with the Veteran Effect. We have a very special episode for you guys today. It is going to be the joint podcast with the Sheepdog podcast and the Veteran Effect. So it'll be a little bit of a different format than what you're used to, but met some great guys there, and you'll hear from them, Jerry and Mike. And without further ado, we'll bring it in.
Mama, mama, can't you see?
Mama, mama, can't you see?
What this army's done to me?
What this army's done to me?
Mama, mama, can't you see?
Mama, mama, can't you see?
What this army's done to me?
What this army's done to me?
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's Michael Pearson with Battleraddle and Jerry Schubert with Sheepdogops podcast. And we have a very special podcast for you guys today. It's going to go a little bit longer probably, but we're going to hit on a lot of good topics. So without further ado, gentlemen, thank you for tuning in, you guys. Thank you for being loyal followers. And Mr. Jerry, why don't you introduce our guest, sir?
All right, guys, welcome to the Sheepdogops podcast. You know me, Jerry. I am your usual sultry voice every week. I know that we missed a week last week. We were reorganizing stuff and kind of restructuring some stuff, so just bear with us a little bit. We're trying to make sure we have the best and the brightest with you, and then we found Francisco here. So
Definitely not the best or the brightest.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Hey, what's...
Uh-oh. We got a little bit of a freezing problem here for a second.
Special treat for you guys today. We have a joint podcast with Sheepdog.
Absolutely. That's the biggest thing about what we got going on here. This is a joint podcast. We've got Veteran Effects, Francisco, who's the owner operator of it, right? This is your big project and everything like that. And
this is my passion project, my baby.
And that's really what it is for most of us right here. We're reaching out to people who need to be reached out to. And you guys know what Sheepdog's all about. Well, as a matter of fact, your listeners do not, but we'll get into that in a second. Francisco, I'm going to let you introduce Veteran Effects and what you guys are all about so we can get some of your background and everything that you guys are doing great up there.
Okay, so definitely. My name is Francisco Valencia. Obviously, I said that. Army veteran, 6 years, 1 year in Afghanistan. I was a 35 Mike. For you who don't know what the nomenclature is, that is a human intelligence collector. To put it in layman's terms, I was an interrogator and a source operator. Had some fun. Did some... Yeah, the secret squirrel, right? Had some fun, got out, and went through what a lot of my guys here are going through, and the separation anxiety and hypervigilance and all that fun jazz, and decided to do something about it, and decided to do something about the 22 a day that was happening, that hit really close. So I figured, I don't know how I can give back. I'm not rich, but at least I can reach out and talk to people and say, hey, you're not alone.
You're not rich yet, sir. You will be. You're going to be rich.
Well, I read something the other day. If you make more than $32,000 a year, you're in the top 1% of the world. So
that's right. I think it's even less than that on some things, but you're right. But guys, listen, I had a good experience with Mr. Valencia. Last week, you probably saw us do a live stream. That was a little chaotic. But and then I told Jerry about it right away. It was it was just pretty horrible, but plenty more of those coming. So
hey, we get better with time.
Yeah. So, but it was such a good experience that I've been excited for like 2 weeks now, or however long it's been, about a week. And I told Jerry about it, and we said, we got to do the podcast, and it's cool for all the veterans out there looking or who don't have their brothers anymore. So tell us a little bit more though, Francisco, about what it's like, or what made you start it, and kind of what do you guys do exactly?
So the purpose of it is initially started off as a podcast back in 2017. give you the story. I was on my way up to my grandfather's. He was dying, so never really knew him. So I was going up to meet him for the first time on his deathbed. And it was like a 16-hour drive up there from the Bay Area up to Idaho, Post Falls, Idaho. And I talked to one into. I'm sorry, what did it cut out?
Oh, yeah, it cut out just a touch.
Okay, I apologize. So I was out there talking to some of my buddies on my way up, 15-hour travel and stuff in the Army, and it found kind of a common denomination between all of them is that when they all got out, they all had that issue of the separation anxiety. They couldn't make friends. They didn't trust people. They were going to school and they were getting, pissed off at the teachers or pissed off at the kids or, a multitude of things. And it was between multiple people. But when it happened to one of my good friends that everybody has their good Army brothers, but they have that one guy that's like, damn, that's my guy. It happened to him, and he's kind of polar opposite the way we view it. He's Puerto Rican, I'm Mexican, and I know that's the same, right? But so I think that's completely opposite of the spectrum. Yeah. So he was born in Puerto Rico, raised on the East Coast. I was born in California, raised on the West Coast, and a military brat. And just both of us were just polar opposites of the spectrum. For us to have that and a couple others, I figured there was so many in between that spectrum. And I decided I wanted to do something about it, and I got into podcasts. I just thought it was natural for it.
Yeah, and so I actually still haven't listened, which was an error on my part, but your typical, we were talking a little bit about before this. What's the typical way that you do your interviews when somebody comes on the Veteran Effects podcast?
So the purpose of it is to give the voice to the unsung hero, I guess you could say, is the one, your S1, your dude who worked in the armory, your medic who never saw a day in his life, just the regular veteran, everyday veteran, and give them a platform to say whatever it is on their mind they want to get out.
Oh, I got you. So like their side of the story.
Yeah. So basically I interview them a little bit for like maybe 5-10 minutes and get kind of a background about what they're doing.
Yeah.
And then from there, it's their platform to talk about whatever they want to talk about. For example, I had one guy talk about transition, getting out. I had another guy talk about sports. One guy talked about Trump. One guy talked about, I don't remember. There was a bunch. Yeah. Most of them were my Army buddies and stuff like that. Actually, I had one guy who was managing a rapper in Austin, and he came on, and he had that and another nonprofit he promoted.
That's cool.
So it's whatever the veteran wants to talk about. I'm just the retard that kind of helps him come along with it.
Yeah. You're not retarded, man.
Not at all. Not even a little bit.
Podcast, we have a couple brews or a couple drinks and enjoy each other.
Yeah, I like that. So, I mean, from my experience, when I went out with you, I had such a good time, but you didn't even touch on the fact right now that you have meetups, right? And you have things where you actually get together, like, because it's one thing to bring somebody on your podcast, right? Like we do, but isn't it like a whole different realm, like to meet you and to like be in the same vicinity as a bunch of people who, like, my take on it real quick, and I think you should elaborate on this, is like when I showed up, I was showing up knowing that
remember, guys, that a lot of this that we're doing is it's uncut, it's unfiltered. We let everything roll as the way it is. So
we're at home, man.
We're all taking the time out of our day, out of our lives, to make sure that people hear what we have to talk about, because somebody somewhere needs to hear it.
Actually, guys, she just wanted to be on the podcast. So, well, one second,
yeah, right.
No, okay. So when I was coming, I knew that I was going to a place. I was a little nervous, right? Because you're going to a place where you know a bunch of veterans are gonna be, right? But what you don't know is who they are and what they've done, and what value you're going to get from actually going. And it was a drag to come out there, man. Had a bunch of product that I had to fucking, I was like, I don't know what this is going to be. And I came because of my boy Matt,
Mm-hmm.
But I tell you, the experience that I had of actually meeting the people and stuff like that was really awesome. So maybe I think you should shed some light on some, maybe some experiences or how people usually react and some of the benefits that come with going to get people out and get them actually together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, definitely. To be honest, it was kind of a selfish thing between me and my good friend Brian McBain. We're like, dude, we want to meet more veterans and have people to fucking hang out with and make friends. So that's that's kind of how it started. And then I had the platform with the podcast, and he wanted to figure out how he could help me. And so it was kind of his idea to start getting people out there for a thing called Thirsty Thursdays. We provide the first couple rounds for veterans at our local bowling alley bar. It's called Strikes in Rockland, California. We do it on the 1st and the 13th of every month. And we've only done about 4 events now. I think you came to...
Oh, we got a little bit of freezing again.
Sorry. So we had about 4 or 5 events thus far. It's been really amazing to see it grow, and it's not that big, but just to see new people each time, and we're able to get new people out, and the same people that were there before come back because they enjoyed it so much.
Yeah.
To actually have a consistent following of people showing up, it's pretty incredible. And a little story, we had one guy by the name of Team Freeze. I believe he came to our second event, and he got out in 2004, was in Fallujah, was in Ramadi, went into Iraq on the initial charge, and he was messed up, man. He had some issues. He told us, we're the first vets he's met in 10 years.
Wow.
This guy doesn't hold a job. He works from home on occasion and stuff. He tries not to go out in public, and his only real releases was doing jiu-jitsu for a while. But he hadn't been out. And he told us, man, that at the end of that meeting, he had everybody in tears saying, damn, thank you guys. I have friends. I have people that I know that are near me. I haven't felt like this in years.
Wow.
And he promised to come to everyone. And he missed one. And then this last one, I guess he had kind of a relapse. Not a relapse, but I don't even know how you would say it, because relapse or episode. I guess an episode. His PTSD manifested, and had him on watch and had him on more, the medicine they give us or whatever. And so he couldn't come out, but we called him during the thing, and he was super happy, and been in touch with him every couple of days and stuff, making sure he's okay. And it's nice to feel that you can help somebody.
Yeah, that's a pretty awesome story, man. I hope to see that guy next time. I'd love to meet that guy,
Yeah, he should be there.
And I don't know if you remember, but that when I came, there was another guy who broke down too, saying
Tyler. Tyler was his name, yeah. Tyler Abel.
He really enjoyed it, and it wasn't like balling or nothing, but it did.
Yeah, no.
It did hit him. So it was really. So I guess we're on our stud. Oh, go. Yeah. Yes.
Now, I just want to jump in here. You know what, Francis? I gotta admit that's pretty impressive. That the fact that Mike starts bringing up a guy that was there when he was there, and you can pull his name right out of your right out, and that's incredible. But that shows what kind of connections you guys are developing there, what kind of relationships you're creating there, because for a lot of these people, they don't have any, like you're saying. They didn't meet anyone and they got out. They don't know anyone that they got out, and that was really what you guys are doing lines up almost identical to what we're trying to do on our end. The difference is that we're trying to add to that veteran base to a whole sheepdog mindset. And I have to give you credit for that, because that's incredible.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're gonna make the real connections. You're gonna remember their names, and and it's funny you say that, because I am horrible with names. I mean, horrible. So the good good point. That makes me actually feel better that I remembered his name.
Well, that's important. It's the little things like that when you start remembering people's names and you start meeting people and you just remember their face. And it's not even something that they did or said at that moment, but it's their story that they were telling you, or it was something that you connected with and you were able to say, hey, you know what? I've gone through the same shit. Or I know somebody who was just talking about that same shit that you were going through. Because I was doing that last night. I had a vet on one of my live streams that I was doing. I did a takeover for one of my friends out there, and she was gracious enough to let me take over her live. And there was a vet on there who was talking about suicide, talking about that stuff. I was like, I just had a podcast about this 2-3 weeks ago where we were talking to a Marine who was going through the same problems and same issues of that survivor guilt and things like that. So it's incredible how you can remember those people. And I appreciate Homegirl for letting me take over her stuff, just so she knows, because she's going to listen to it.
Shout out to Homegirl.
Know who she is, because she's the one that's buying most of the merch.
Homegirl, Homegirl?
That Homegirl, yes.
we love you, Homegirl. Thank you.
Well, to speak on that, one of the great things that came out of this meeting with my friend down there, Michael Pearson, is Battleraddle is now sponsoring Veteran Effect. We have a shirt out as of yesterday, right? Yeah. Yesterday or this morning?
Yeah, glad you brought that up. It was yesterday, and we posted it on Facebook. Nothing in our email campaigns yet, but we're going to take a lot of that money that we're getting from the shirts. So get out there and get your Veteran Effects shirt. Just go right to the search bar, type in Veteran Effects. And I think it's tagged as military or veteran, but so some of those proceeds that we're going to get from that, I don't know. I haven't even really. This is how live and real this is. Like I haven't even.
We haven't discussed it yet.
It, but I know you know where I'm coming from.
Yeah,
I was telling Jerry too. I would like to make this like a legit, not where we're making money, but a something. I don't want to say the word foundation, but something to that effect where we could have our own facility to host events, and that would be something. That's just something I'm thinking way down the line. But so anyway, but for right now, bring it back to reality. If you guys get out there and you buy some of these, Sheepdogops shirts or Veteran Effect shirts, like I'm just going to pour that proceeds into the Sheepdogops podcast and merch and the Veterans Effect and meeting up, and maybe somebody who shows up the next time is really going to need it. Or if that guy you were talking about that had a problem needs an Uber to come out there, I'm going to be that guy to pay for that Uber to get him out there, or whatever it's going to take. The next round after that first round,
Yeah, definitely. We'll figure out something.
Yeah,
the shirt's out, guys.
Yeah, and it looks great.
It really does.
That's a great logo.
It looks phenomenal. I've seen the shirt. I've seen the mock-ups. I've seen all the stuff when it was going through process, man. I tell you what, these guys are incredible with all that stuff. Their team is always on the ball, up at all hours of the day or night, just pumping that stuff out. So they're working hard to make sure you're out there supporting these. I
just want to selflessly promote these people called the Uneducated Experts. I'm wearing their shirt today. It just so happened to I was working on my truck today. I was wearing it. But a couple of veterans that do that podcast, and they make shirts too. And I was talking to them today, and I'm going to hook you two up, and he wants to help you design some stuff.
Oh, that's great, man. Uneducated expert.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
I mean,
they're a veteran-ran sports podcast. They focus on sports.
Oh, that is neat.
Yeah.
I need to get involved with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I was telling you that.
Don't hide it from the camera.
Yeah.
Hide nothing.
Yeah. So what we didn't do when we first I was just okay, so let me just see here. So that's some of the things that we want to tell you guys, and not only just I don't want to sit here and sit on this podcast tell people to go buy the t-shirts, but I'd also want to tell these people that, like, I message so many of my friends, like people that I deployed with who are in the local Sacramento area, come out, like, please come out, just experience it, And so I really want to grow this thing and maybe do it in multiple locations and get some support for this, because the other thing that comes out of this is it's not just for veterans. Like, if you're a non-veteran, come out there. Like, the people that I met a guy today that I was on a call with. We had a conference call and we just talked about business. So that's huge networking, you know. Not only are you getting the stories, the memories, the new friends, the old friends, the experience that you're going to have coming out, you're getting super networking opportunities. I'm talking about like business, job opportunities.
Yeah, that may happen. It's not for everybody. It's not
definitely not for everybody, but it's there. It's, you know, you got to be aware of it.
Well, that's definitely the coolest about all of this, is that we run into people that can be extremely prominent in our lives later on. Like, I got a guy I work with that he got medically retired when he was in the middle of Navy boot camp. And he actually is the one who's hooking me up with another veteran organization that we'll be talking to the next week, I believe, or the week after. But if I didn't know him, I would have never met those guys, and those guys would have introduced me to a lot of vets that we're going to have an opportunity to talk to and get their story out, because, you know, we're doing the same thing that you guys are doing over there at Veteran Effects. The difference is that we're trying to include cops and first responders as far as fire and EMT goes. We think we all are in the same boat, and it's hard to find those people if you don't have that network, and that's what's fantastic about all this.
It's awesome. The networking opportunity is definitely a benefit of it. I was going to say, but it's kind of with the ambiance of being in a barracks party. I mean, you guys, everybody knows what a barracks party is, right? It's just a bunch of soldiers hanging out in the day room, having fun, and all these people from all walks of life, and it's just a barracks party for all services, and that's the beauty of it, because we've had Navy, Air Force, Marine Corps, and Army guys. Yeah, or other show up. So
as Air Force, we're used to a little bit more higher quality.
They definitely,
it's 5-star.
Maybe not their establishment, but they showed up and participated.
Now, the venue is nice, though, so even the Air Force could get down, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Finally. And the beautiful thing is, too, the venue's actually supporting us a lot. They're buying flags. We're trying to get sponsored by Bud Light. I want to do Coors Light, but Bud Light, whatever. Beggars can be choosers. Shout out to Strikes Bowling Alley. They really support the veterans.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that guy. That guy, Rob, I met that night. The manager, he's cool.
Yeah, he's cool too.
So I mean, you come out, you get this effect, right? Effect or effect, whatever you want to call it, of meeting all these people and all these great benefits, you know? So that's the benefit that a new listener listening to this is going to get. You're going to get that effect. You come out, you meet the people, you make some friends, and then you don't have formation called on you. Literally, that would be the end of the barracks party, right? You're sitting there playing games in the day room, and they go,
no.
Yeah, none of that, you know? So it's extracting all those good times, you know? So, you know, it's not perfect, but it's definitely a great thing. And so thanks for inviting me out, man. I still thank you for that. And then here we are. So,
that leads us kind of into our next topic as far as Sheepdog Ops goes. Francisco, I want to give you the opportunity that if you want to do your portion before we start getting into that interview portion of our side, that you can ask the questions that you want to, because I know this is going to be dual and people are going to be freaked out about the whole format, everything on both of our sides.
They're probably wondering, are these other two guys, were they in the military or not? What the fuck?
What the hell are they talking about? They don't even know anything.
Who is he talking to right now? We don't know these people. Jerry,
we can't see them. We're missing something.
Yeah, I know. I need to really upgrade my life and get the video. Maybe with this one, I'll do it. We'll see. I do have the YouTube reserve. So.
Hey, we'll help you out.
Hey,
I can help you. Okay. I can edit it both ways. We'll talk. We'll talk after this.
We'll talk afterwards. So the beauty of this is, man, So the questions. All right, got you. So let's start with Mike, and then we'll go to you, Jerry. All right.
Sounds
so
good.
Mike, when did you join, and what service?
I joined the Army, and I joined in the year of 2010 after much thought, and I joined the reserves. I initially joined the reserves.
Okay.
So, and I'm still serving that contract. I re-enlisted one time, so basically I'm still in the Army Reserves, and like half my friends on Facebook and stuff, they're all like I still talk to the people who fucking served with me the first 2-3 years and 6 years, and I'm still serving with the new people coming out of AIT. So it's fun, man.
That's awesome, man. Okay, so you joined in 2010. That's pretty cool. I joined 2007. What MOS did you pick?
I'm a 31 Echo, and so that's basically very not well known. It's a correctional guard as a subset. I don't know if I'd say subset. It's you get the military police badge, but it's not pretty badass. It's just like you work in a prison.
Yeah, correction officer. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I never changed. It's just what I did.
That's pretty cool. And how'd you join? Or what made you decide to join?
Funny story, man. This is pretty powerful stuff. This goes to anybody out there who is not know what they want to do in life. So I live in Sacramento. So I remember I went to a job fair at Sac State, and I saw the Army guy, and he was a drill sergeant, and I went to high school with the guy, and it was right in the height of the war, and he was so hyped up, you need to join. What are you not doing? Join. You think any of these other jobs are going to pay you? I'll take you right now, and I'll make you a man. And I was like, oh, I would never join that. I would never join that organization. I'm going to go get rich. I'm going to go fucking be a stockbroker. I don't know, I'm going to go work at whatever. But so that's literally my experience. I was like, I'm not even joining that shit. And at that time, I didn't even know it was the Army. I just knew he was a drill sergeant because of the hat. But actually, man, you know why I joined? It came from my boy that was at the FX. It was Matt Asofsky. He's
so Foxy.
So Foxy.
We know So Foxy very well.
Yeah.
He's actually officially a part of Veteran Effect. So.
Yeah, he's a great guy. And so I joined fraternities with him in college, and I've known him for so many years. So he just sat me down and said, man, what are you doing? And he sold me all the benefits and literally took me down. I told him I probably wouldn't do it. But he took me down to the recruiter, and he just said, just talk to the guy, man. Just talk to him. So they kind of just all the benefits. And
tag teamed you.
Yeah, they tag teamed it. Here's this third party verifier. Come on, and
we all can't be winners.
Yeah, we all can't be winners. Where'd you go to basic at?
So what I was going to finish with on that though.
Go ahead.
I ended up doing it right, but look now I'm the guy who started this fucking clothing company for military. A guy who wasn't even going to join. So that just shows you you never know, man. Why would you leave a rock unturned if that's how you knew life was? So that's my point. I went to basic in Fort. Shit, I don't even remember it.
Such a horrible transition on that.
Yeah.
I thought that was part of the previous.
Yeah.
Who let this guy in here?
Yeah. Fort Leonard Wood.
You went to Fort Lost in the Woods, Missouri. Yeah, well, that's where the MPs and Chem and I went there for basic. Yeah. It was fun.
Yeah,
it wasn't fun at all.
It was
pretty fun, but it wasn't fun at all.
I got sick 3 times with pneumonia. I thought I was gonna die.
Ooh.
Yeah, they almost kicked me out. They almost restarted me because they were like, "Dude, you missed everything," and I was like, "Okay, great. Can I pass now?" Yeah, whatever.
They were like, "Oh, he's going to reserves." Yeah.
Yeah,
he ain't real. I mean,
he's just a poop butt gonna watch other fucked up military individuals.
Pretty much. Yeah. So that was that, man. I went to Leonard Wood.
All right, cool. And then Jerry, starting off with you, buddy. When did you join?
So I joined the Air Force officially. It was January 7th, 2009. So,
Damn.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. 10 years.
I'm right in that in between you guys.
Got you. Yeah.
The only reason it was 2009 was because I had braces my senior year, so I couldn't actually, they wouldn't take me. I had to get them off before they'd let me go.
Yeah, Air Force wouldn't take anybody for anything. I walked in the Air Force and they were like, lose 20.
I initially tried to
Yeah,
join.
so
I'm
Army.
sorry. We all have to be winners. I mean, go ahead.
Yeah, we don't get that luxury life. But go ahead, Jerry. So why'd you join?
Actually, what's funny, this is going to be a funny story for you guys. I walked into an Army recruiter office. And
we said we don't take sissies around here?
No. I scored too high on my ASVAB. We're going to shots fired. We're going to shots fired. You know, it's going to be.
I got an 83, buddy. That wasn't.
I got an 89. They wouldn't let me out the door. No, actually, in 2008, I graduated in the beginning of June. Me and my best friend walked into a recruiter's office. We walked into the Army recruiter's office because both of us just wanted to leave town. We wanted to be away from our families. We were we had a childhood, you know. Yeah, at least in our minds, we had a childhood that we wanted to get away from. So we walked into the Army recruiter's office. He scored a 91. I scored an 89. They kind of had a hard time letting us leave the office because they said that we scored higher than the intelligence officer that was in there. Whether that was true or not, I don't know.
Probably. I worked in Intel, probably.
There's a good shot. So, and then about 2-3 days later, we were driving around with each other because, well, we were graduated and we had nothing better to do. And I got a call from the recruiter who said, hey, your buddy just signed his contract. You need to come roll in and get it taken care of. I was only 17 at the time. So I was like, well, that's weird. I'm on the phone and I look at him. I was like, did you sign your contract and didn't tell me? And he was like, no. I was like, okay. And then I was like, all right, well, let me talk to my parents because I still got to get them, you know. And I hang up. 5 minutes later, we're still in the car together. The same recruiter calls him up. Hey, your buddy's down here right now signing his contract. You need to get down here. And we were like, all right. Really, I am? I'm speaking loud enough, obviously, for him to hear me. And the recruiter goes, oh, shit. That's basically what his reaction was. And so we got in the car. We drove back to the recruiter facility. And we walked right past the Army recruiter, and we waved at him as we walked right to the Air Force office.
Oh, fucker didn't make mission that month.
Well, that was the worst part. We walk into the Air Force recruiter office. He tells me, we don't fucking need you. I was like, oh, well, that's nice. He's like, now I want you. I got to be part of you because you don't want me. So, and that started my journey. I had to wait a good 6 months before I could join. Got my braces off a couple weeks before boot camp, and yeah, that was that.
Good cheer force.
Only 8 weeks. It was nice. It's comfortable.
Next question is, where did you serve? You were active, right? Or were you
I was active duty. I signed up for real military. And
thank you, man.
Anytime. So I obviously went to Lackland for boot camp. I went to. Sorry, guys. I apologize for that.
Obviously, for you Army guys and Marine Corps, Navy guys, you should have fucking known that.
Yeah, of course. Apparently.
Idiots.
So Lackland's in San Antonio, Texas. I spent 8 weeks there, which was no time at all. Went out to Florida for a good 4 months and then was stationed in New Mexico. So actually ended up at a Navy base, which was the worst. I mean, the best.
Miami, Florida. Right? And then
it was Pensacola. I was in the Panhandle. It was more humid. It was.
Can I just make a comment about how and explain to listeners that don't understand what he just said? How funny that is. You know, people in the Army. You know, I went to San Antonio for my second station, and they asked me whose dick I sucked to get there. Right? Everybody wanted to go to fucking San Antonio or Corpus Christi. You did basic in San Antonio. And you did individual training in Florida.
Yeah, no, my career was fantastic. Don't get it wrong. Absolutely fantastic. I spent 4 months out in Florida at on the beach. Like Pensacola is like literally on the beach.
Such a hard life, isn't it?
The air.
What job did you pick when you picked it, and why?
So I didn't actually pick my job. I came in as open mechanical. When I got assigned my job, it was my AFSC was 2A752 or X2, and that's non-destructive inspections. For you guys who don't know what that is, we're going to go even further. Basically, that's I'm a doctor for planes, so I do X-rays, I do ultrasounds, I do different chemical tests and stuff like that for airplanes, where we determine whether the structure is going to fail before it fails. So that way you can make sure that place or part gets replaced or structure gets replaced before it goes up in flight.
That's pretty cool. My grandpa did that. You're still doing that. You're still doing that, right?
Yeah, actually, I run a non-destructive lab here in Fresno or Clovis area.
Are you at Lemoore?
My day-to-day job.
Wow. You're at Lemoore, or where are you?
No, I'm actually out by the airport. I was over at your Army Guard base there for a little bit, the depot for helicopters out there at Fresno International, but I've gone full civilian now.
That's cool. That's a good job, man. That's awesome.
That's pretty badass. I ain't gonna lie.
And you didn't have to suck any dick to get that location,
right? No. You're begging.
No.
Not
he wasn't in the Army.
Not even a little bit.
Fucking San Antonio, man.
San Antonio, Florida. Now, don't get me wrong. New Mexico wasn't great, so don't.
Well, they had a nice Walmart, right? San Antonio or freaking New Mexico is not.
It's not horrible. It's got good weather. It's just windy.
Yeah.
I was actually out by White Sands Missile Range. You guys probably.
So that's my portion of the interview. You guys can go ahead and do your side.
Oh, okay. There wasn't any more questions for me?
No. I don't want to hear anything else about your luxurious life in the Air Force.
That's what he's telling me.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, if you want me to say it straightforward, I will.
Go ahead, Francisco. I've heard worse from better people.
I wouldn't give it. Yeah. I respect anybody who serves because it's okay, but
always.
But that was cool. But I mean, that's a good set. That's a good skill set, man. You know, working on planes. My grandpa got a whole federal retirement off that, so that's a big thing, you know.
I got.
That's awesome.
That was me. I got retired at 3.5 years. So.
No, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I've gotten very, very lucky with my career, and again, I know there's a lot of jokes thrown back and forth between branches right now, but anything that anyone does when they serve, I truly honor, appreciate, and respect everything that you guys do, everything that every other branch does. I know it's all in fun and games, but don't ever get it twisted that it's nothing different than respect for one each other.
Yeah, definitely. If you're hearing this and you're like, these guys must fucking hate each other. We do, just not in front of you.
Yeah.
It's one of those big brothers. Only I can pick on my little brother, okay, you motherfucker.
I was hoping you guys weren't going to end the podcast early to go fuck each other up.
Later when we get to the, live stuff. I mean,
live
streaming stuff.
That's live stream time.
Yeah. Not that I'm not live streaming right now as we're talking. I've got my phone up. I'm live streaming. So.
Oh, shit.
But, it's neither here nor there.
Man.
No pressure. All right.
On to the sheepdog portion. Let's do it.
So I think, what do you want to do, Jerry?
Let's move this forward. So obviously we've talked about our backgrounds. We've gone through what we've done, where we've been. I'm looking at our list, guys, just in case you're curious why I'm not staring off at these beautiful eyes that these two have. What I really want to get into is this community that you've developed and the relationships that you've seen. I know we've touched on it a little bit, but how have you seen the vets that start coming and where they've grown from where they started when they started coming with you?
Man, that's a harder question. To be honest, I think it's been such a it's been such a limited amount of time since and yes, that was a burp. Since a limited amount of time that we've done the events, I think it's 4 or 5 that we can't really tell. But the fact that we have people coming from the first, second, third, and fourth, consistently, that's been at least 1 or 2 other events, shows me that, there's going to be some dedication to it and people are really into it. And when people say, I really want to help this thing happen, I've seen men take action, just like Micheal took action this week.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
yeah. Oh, shoot, a little cutout. Well, I mean, yeah, I would really, I just believe in it. I don't know why, man. I don't know why. Like, I just feel like it could really make a difference in people's lives. And it's not like I'm just sitting here trying to sell you a t-shirt. Like,
well, you are.
But yeah, I am. Buy a t-shirt, right? Buy that t-shirt. But I think it could provide a lot more, and I see a big vision for it. So I wanted to be involved, and I didn't even know that you were the one doing it. But you take a new person that, even if they're still in, they've never even been in, or they got out with problems. Like, I think that just that in the same room, the same venue. And no matter if you're a friend of someone who came, if you are a veteran looking for something to do, or if you're tired of streaming video games and you just need to get the hell out of the house, and those people are there. Yeah, I think that people would really value from that, from just a straight networking or straight fixing your problems, talking about it, talking through it. Half the things that you could go through in life, I think you could talk through them with another person's perspective. I think it's all perspective. So I think people really have to come out, grow this community organically, get new perspectives all over the place until they basically are the antidote to their own problem. And that doesn't matter if it's going to be coming and finding your smoking boys, if it's coming and vaping. It doesn't matter if you need a beer. It doesn't matter if you like to drink coffee. Like, you just come and you kind of figure out what will happen. And I think the people in the community are going to be the catapult to help a lot of people. And I see it really growing and going to new venues, going through podcasting. We could even do live streams and podcasts there. So it could go a lot of different ways, but I thought it was really cool, man. I don't know. I had a good experience,
No, it definitely was. And everybody sees it a different way. And that's one of the beauties of it is that, man, is you take what you will away from it, that you will. Everybody takes something different.
Right. And like, maybe somebody, if they showed up and didn't say they took something from it, right? But that's why I was the last guy to leave. It's like, well, there's always something more to take from something. Like, if you develop the mindset to be like, you could literally get something in every moment that you're living, because you're not dead yet. And if you gotta just find that's why I mentioned the word value so much. There's value in everything if your heart is beating, and the people that you have an impact on. Like, that, this thing it's in the name, the veteran effect. Like, what is that effect going to be? I don't know. I have to show up and get from every experience that day and meet as many people as I can. So that's why people should show up. They shouldn't blow it. They have to come. They have to get that effect. Like, that's powerful, man.
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, I love you, bro. And then, Jerry, like, that sheepdog ops mindset, you were going to go into that. Like, how can somebody have – so there's 2 things here. Like, you come to get that experience and that effect, right? But how would you recommend, Jerry, from a sheepdog ops mindset, that somebody coming out to an event be? How should they be? They should be like a sheepdog, wouldn't you say? Like, what mindset do you think these people should have?
Well, obviously, for events like this, what Veteran Effect is putting on, they have the sheepdog mindset. This is the people who are willing to protect the people around them. And that's what it comes down to. You have this mindset that no matter what's going to happen, if there is some situation that pops off right now, you will be the one willing to take whatever needs to be taken to protect the people behind you. And if you go back through some of my YouTube videos, we actually did a whole video on the actual mindset itself. And this is where most people are running at a level, we call it white, where they're not engaged with what's going on around them. They aren't on an alert system. They don't realize, they're not situationally aware. Those are what we call your sheep. Those are your day-to-day, every person that's around you.
Yeah.
And then you have the two, they're very similar, but they're extremely different, is you have your sheepdog and you have your wolf. And the wolf is as smart as the sheepdog. They are come from the same breed. They are cut from the same cloth. But the difference is the sheepdog is willing to protect, where the wolf is willing to take advantage. And veterans are the same way. Veterans have this mindset that they're willing to take on whatever it is to take to protect the people that are behind them from the wolf. And so getting into a mindset where you're in a location like this, where you're with a bunch of sheepdogs, it gives you the opportunity to kind of relax. It gives you that opportunity to kind of let go of all that stress and all those issues and all those problems that are building up, because you can talk to people.
Yeah. Talk your way through those. Yeah. Yeah.
You're talking to people, you're relating to people, even if it's crude or stupid jokes, which is majority of our humor.
Yes, sir.
I like how you got all up on the mic for that one. You had to, Francis, I appreciate that. But that really is, there is no difference between when you look at a sheepdog as far as when you talk about cops or first responders and when you talk about military. They're the exact same people with the exact same background, mentality, mindset. So putting them in the same position that you're putting vets in, where you get to meet with other vets, meet with other first responders, and talk about really the shit show that you've been through. That's huge for them, because now they realize that they don't have to, they'll be the only one carrying that burden. And we talked to, what was that, Jesse? I think that was 3 or 4 podcasts in. Yeah. Where we were talking about this backpack of bricks.
Yeah. You're always wearing
it in there without giving it away and trying to share that load. You're going to go back.
Yeah. I could attest to that. That's such a good point. Like, yeah, you're coming in with the sheepdog mindset. You have some of the vets that may have been compromised into being around so many sheep, they might have forgot the mindset. But so come out, get around all the sheepdogs, and then with your pack of bricks that you're showing up with, right? We all know at these events that you're showing up with a pack of bricks. You're hurting, you're struggling, the bills are coming, you got kids on the way, like you're going through this stuff. So why not just come? Baby mama drama. So come and just unload just a few of those unload bricks, and then the next event a few more, then the next event a few more, and then get some perspective, right? And then rearrange some of the bricks in the back, and then the next event you unload some more, and then before you know it, where I see this thing going is you have a tight knit pack of just fucking trained ass sheep, man. Right there, if they could be a wolf, they want to be a wolf. No, we could go take some people out, But we'll find out. We'll see that.
This guy's getting into secret ops now.
Yeah, no.
What are we gonna do?
Yeah, yeah.
We're gonna get together and go attack the cupcake store.
Are we overthrowing some shit? Because apparently
we're about to just take over.
In this state, we might be. That's the worst part,
I know. Yeah, reverse ops. They're taking us out. No,
let's hold off on the rebellion talk thus far, there, Skywalker.
Yeah, to take that community that was imperfect and just make it better and better and better every time. And then that community is going to be very powerful. A lot of resourceful people helping other people. And I think that's the intent of getting together and then growing it by location. And it's cool, man.
Yeah, and definitely we want to see the success of others elevate us, and our success and everybody's successful. I mean, people helping people, vets helping vets. I say it all the fucking time. It's really about vets helping vets. That's it. It's us supporting ourselves, because you can't expect anybody else to do anything else.
That's right.
Or else they would have been in the shoes that you were in.
Well, that's where you go back to where you were talking about when we started this, is the 22 a day. Just, it starts that feeling because you realize that really it affects all of us, and that's what we were looking at when I started this whole thing. Is it affects all of us? It's not just military guys, but cops are doing the same thing, firefighters are doing the same thing, paramedics are doing the same thing, and across the board. It's just trying to reach out and say, hey, you don't have to be alone when you're doing this.
Yeah, and you know, I've personally not lost anybody that I know of to that, but what always rang in my mind was the statistics, man. 22 a day. There's only so many of us. When is it going to hit somebody that I know? That, you know, had I reached out to them, had I said something, had I, you know, just been their battle like I was when I was in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Or, you know, this idea that I have. Sorry, it's not this guilt thing or, you know, some idea that I have the power to save somebody's life. But if I could try, you know, to do something for somebody and it helps them in some type of way, then, you know, I feel this is a success.
Yeah, and it will be, because, I mean, the more of those stories that come forward on these future podcasts, the people who truly got helped, they're going to tell their buddy and their buddy and their buddy. And then, I mean, nothing's going to be perfect, but if you slowly grew it like that, then there's a lot of people's lives are going to be changed. And that's all you could really do is change somebody's life one person at a time, given that perspective.
Yeah, and that's totally the goal. I mean, I used to tell, you know, I was with a girl for quite a few years, and she asked me, you always want to give back. Why don't you make care packages or do this and do that? And I was like, it's just not my way. And then finding my way and finding this is just like, it makes sense now. You just have to find your way to try to help out.
Yeah, definitely.
No, it really is the coolest thing that you see is you can feel it. You absolutely feel it, you know?
Thank you.
Yeah, you know, and it's, I don't know. I've ran into so many vets, and a lot of what you're saying, we've done a lot of actual podcasts on it, and it's been phenomenal talk, because all of this ties in together. We've done it. We did it with Jesse when we were talking about the bricks. We did it with Dan when we were talking about iron sharpening iron, and you take care of your circle. We did it with Matt when we were talking about, hey, you just need to learn to reach out. We've done so many of these guys who are saying the same thing, and just, I don't know. It's incredible how you can reach somebody without even, you don't even have to talk to half of them. You just reach out to them and you see them, see the change in them. So guys, I know we're coming up close because Francisco, you have another interview here shortly. I don't want to spend too much time getting into that where you're cutting those. We
got about another 10 minutes or so.
Yeah. So I want to give it time because I know you've got some stuff that you want to promote. You've got some events coming up, and
yeah, yeah, definitely. That's what we're here for, right?
Yeah, that's half the reason we're here. We get to sit with each other and drink, which is the best reason. But you know,
yeah, just bullshitting. That's what I like. Our next event is June 20th. We're at Strikes Bowling Alley in Rockin, California, and if you can't find the directions, you probably shouldn't show up. No, I'm just kidding. I don't have it written down, so I would give them to you if I had it, but I don't. Not off the top of my head. And it's going to be www.veteraneffect.org. Did I cut out?
Yeah, a little bit, but that was right after you were already given the address. So you want to give that one more time?
All right, so it's www.veteraneffect.org. And that'll be up and running soon. You can find us on Twitter. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook at @veteran_effect. Facebook's at Veteran Effect. We're on all the podcasts where you can listen to them: Google Podcasts, Spreaker, iHeartRadio. We're on, what's that one streaming service they have? A lot of people like, I don't know.
Spotify.
We're on Spotify. We're on pretty much every podcast application. Like, subscribe. We're going to see if we can't turn this one into a YouTube. We got a YouTube. So obviously if you're watching us on YouTube, that's where you found us. Yeah, so there's that. And if anybody wants to come on, you can reach us through email at veteraneffect@gmail.com.
Nice. That's perfect. Go ahead.
I'm going to send this off to you. You got some Battleraddle stuff going on, right?
Yeah, so I was just going to say, guys, June 20th, that I'll be there. I'm going to try and bring as many of my local friends and some customers and some of the people that I'm still serving with out there. I got about 3 so far, and that's growing. So definitely, and hopefully, maybe if it's possible, we could even structure a podcast out there that day. And but I don't know. We'll see. So guys, other than that, it's just we're releasing new designs every day. We introduced a new human service, so you could straight text us at any time of the day, and I'll probably answer it because I'm that crazy and obsessed. But our phone number is 530-656-8098. So text us anytime, and we'll get you whatever you need. So that human service is there. Look for our daily giveaways. Guys, we give all those giveaways on Facebook, sometimes 3 or 4 winners, depending on how many shares we get. And a lot of different ways to get free T-shirts. And then most recently, something we're proud of is an affiliate program like for streamers. If you're a streamer out there, if you DM me or send a text, we'd like to get you your own banner and pay either clothing commissions or straight commissions, depending on what we negotiated for your streaming. So we want to, you're an active, you play those active first-person shooter games. We'd love for you to throw up a Battleraddle banner and a little video ad that we're going to come out with. So that's pretty much all I got. Come out to this new event. Leave us a good Google review, and that's all I got.
Starting after this, I'm gonna become a streamer because what the fuck? I'm gonna quit my job and just start streaming and just talk shit to everybody. I think I could do that. I don't know.
Well, if you get paid, that's worth it. I might actually do that too. Podcast stuff.
Yeah, it's great.
So
we're sitting there streaming, playing against each other.
We just we record podcasts while we're fucking streaming live.
We'll do that all at the same time. It'll be easy that way.
Yeah.
Double dip a little bit, right? That's how that works.
Yeah, you get the double.
So I know that Battleraddle is also, you got Father's Day coming up. You guys got some cool designs that have been out for that shit. I won't leave you hanging.
Let me just say, I'm sorry. We do have a bunch of new Father's Day designs. Check that out. It's under the tag holiday. A lot of cool ones. The Poppy Superman, Dad Superman. But use discount code veteran if you're a veteran. Don't lie about it. And then I can't remember what else I was
4th of July is coming up next month. Make sure you go over there, get some flag gear, get some badass. We got some more designs I've sent in, and we've got some cool stuff that's coming out here in the next.
Friday is Flag Day, so buy a shirt and that has a flag on it and wear it all day. So we celebrate Flag Day that day, and look out for some 4th of July specials for sure. And with that, that's all I got. So, Jerry.
Hopefully we'll be able to hook you up with uneducated experts soon, and maybe my boy Men can get you some designs over too. He's talented. But
we'll collab on that. Just
all right. If you guys are done, then I've got a plug. I know I don't normally have a plug. I actually have a plug coming up here soon.
Oh shit, Jerry, let's hear it.
Oh my God, look at that! People want to hear about me.
Let's hear about it, Mr. Schuber.
And I'm going to click that.
God damn it, Jerry.
Dan Manriquez has 2 fighters actually fighting in Visalia on the 29th of June. I will be there. Mike, I've talked to you. You're talking about coming out there. We'll have Battle out there. Francisco, if you want to come out there, let me know. We'll talk. I'll make sure you get a ticket. Okay. It will be at the end of the month. I will be actually producing an expose on the fighters that are going to be out there. So I've been out the last couple weeks, out at training, videotaping for a few hours at a time. I'll be up at the lakes next week with these guys, talking to them, doing some interviews with them, getting their mindset before the fight. We'll be filming at the fight itself, and then we'll turn around and do another interview after, and it's going to be a big old, probably a 15, 20-minute video on these two guys, going from Joe Blows to Sheepdogs. These were two guys who didn't know what the fuck they were doing. They weren't fighting.
Joe Blow out of San Antonio.
So they didn't have anything going on for them. One of them walked in and said, "Hey, I just want to learn how to defend myself." And now he's taken his first fight. You got another gentleman. He's a young kid. He's got a whole different story that's going on, and we're going to walk through that and talk through that. I'm super stoked to be working with Dan Manriquez and his Defense Academy and stuff through that. He's actually going to be on the show again. We're going to do another interview where we're actually going to do video from the actual academy here in the next couple weeks, so stay tuned for that. I've actually got a couple of things that we're putting through Battleraddle to put some new shirts together, to put some new merch out there for Sheepdog Ops. And as always, remember, when you support that, it goes right back into whatever we're doing here. These guys take care of us. I know Veteran Effects is super excited about that too, because these are great relationships right here.
Yeah, it's all about.
As far as supporting the podcast, you can support us obviously by buying the merch over at Battleraddle. Go check out our podcast. They're always posted over there. You can actually support us on Patreon. We have a Patreon account. It's Sheepdog Ops there. When you go to Anchor FM, you can actually subscribe to the podcast. I know it's free, but remember, anything that you subscribe to or donate to the actual podcast itself goes right back into the equipment, to the production, to the ability to go to more events, do more live streaming. We're going to do some giveaways here in the next couple months that we're super excited about. Me and Mike have been just trying to figure out the logistics so that way we can make sure we're getting out to you guys and talking to you guys.
Yeah. And I would say that, do make some donations, because we still need to put together a Sheepdog Ops website, or sounds like Veteran Effects still needs a website too. So maybe we'll figure something out, but where we could start taking more donations to really pump this thing up and then somehow get something going. So it's all being figured out, but Sheepdogs and Veteran Effects do need the support to keep bringing good content coming out, new people coming, and keeping this thing alive.
And in the next couple podcasts, we've actually got some really cool guests lined up. We've got a few people who have actually been messaging me this whole damn time, trying to figure out what their dates are.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we do have a lot, because I've been really pushing it. We got some really cool – there's a guy coming on next with they have a vaping group. So, man, if we can get
talking to them too?
Yeah, the vaping group is going to come on. Then there's a guy who does custom welding helmets with speakers and headphones and different cooling mechanisms within your welding helmet for all the welders out there. So just some incredibly different people that have served or are involved in different military groups that we're going to bring to you guys. So even more of a reason to keep tuning in, donate, so we can bring more better people on than that, and then get them out.
Wait, you're gonna start paying people to come on? What the fuck?
We'll get you a free shirt. Don't worry, Francisco. Get you a Sheepdog Ops one. Yeah. It'll be great.
Today's free, but
no, but other than that, we've got some cops that we've actually reached out to across the country. I've got some correctional officers. I've got some really cool people that we're actually looking at talking to in the next couple weeks. I got a couple people who really want to be on, but they're away at training right now. Once they get back from training, we'll be right back at it. They're the same kind of people that we have, where they're military sheriff, they're military cop, they're military firefighter, and we're really looking forward to everyone that we're having on here shortly. And then obviously Francisco, when he's done with his phone, he's trying to hide it like it's out of the screen, and it's like right here in the middle of it.
I just got to make sure they're good. All right, my bad. I apologize.
Yeah, we're coming up on his time.
Yeah, we're coming up on his time. He's got a couple minutes. So I appreciate you coming on. I'm glad that we could do this dual podcast, and I really look forward to doing more stuff with you and being up there to do some vlogging and some stuff like that where we can do some videos.
That'd be awesome, man. Hopefully you'll make it out to the next one on June 20th.
I'm going to try my hardest. We'll see. With me having the double event, it might be a little rough. But next month,
just get the company helicopter and fly up here. We all know you have it.
Hook me up.
No, I'm talking about the Air Force.
Oh, yeah, no. I could actually. That's a whole conversation for another time. But I appreciate you coming on, Francisco. Mike, as always, I love having you guys here. I know we've been doing a little bit of solo stuff because your schedule's been crazy, but I appreciate everyone here.
I just want to say one. Can I say one thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh.
None of you have mentioned that, I'm the Mexican Jesus with this light coming down on top of my head.
Yeah, bro.
You guys mentioned it earlier, but
I feel like that was one of those things. We waited till the end, right before I ended this shit.
Amen, sir. Amen.
He's got this little glow going on above him. We've been giving him shit about.
About to glow up, right?
I'm going to go ahead and drink the juice. Did you guys want to as well?
We'll do one last cheers. Call it a day. I appreciate you guys coming on. I will see you soon. And as we always say when we end this podcast for Sheepdog Ops,
salute, motherfucker.
Don't be the sheep in the fight. Be the dog.
Absolutely.
I like that. What they said.
I'm going to stop the recording, I promise.